Cryptocurrency. This is a word you've probably been hearing more and more about. So we want to provide you with some information today on where it came from, kind of why it was created in the first place, and most importantly, give you a better idea of kind of why you're hearing so much about it today. The word currency, as you probably have related to it up to this point in time, is this stable kind of medium of exchange that we can give to other people as a medium for other goods or products that we may want. So if you go to the store, you have that dollar bill, you hand it to them, and they give you back the Snickers bar, right? Everybody's happy. That dollar bill is really just a piece of paper, right? But we have it established as this government entity, this medium of exchange that I'm willing to give to you and you're willing to give to me. So instead of having to go to the store and bring with me like a goat or a bushel of hay to trade for that Snickers bar, I can just bring that piece of paper. So worldwide, you've probably heard of the Swiss franc, pound, euro. These are all just different mediums of exchange provided by other government entities to do this same transactional business between each other. So right now, worldwide, there's about 180 different recognized government-based currencies. So you may be wondering, why did anybody go through the effort of creating cryptocurrency to begin with? And the answer really goes back to the 2008 financial crisis, where there were a lot of people that weren't too happy with banks' roles in contributing to that crisis. So there are a group of coders out there that wanted to create an alternative, and they came up with Bitcoin, which is the largest and the kind of the original cryptocurrency that provides an alternative means without requiring banks' involvement. Because there is no bank involvement or government involvement, they needed their own peer-to-peer network to validate transactions. So if you think of like a giant network of computers out there that are all solving algorithms to help validate in this process, that's kind of where you get that crypto part of cryptocurrency. Now, the people that are participating, you may have heard the word mining before. Basically, that means that you're lending your computer to this process and your reward is shares of Bitcoin. Because there is no central authority, that makes it decentralized. And because it is a virtual currency, that means you need to store it in a special virtual wallet. You can't go to your normal bank and say, I have some Bitcoin that I want to deposit, for example. Now, proponents of cryptocurrency really like the fact that it's not tied to any one government entity, and therefore any of the inflationary offshoots that might result from that government's decisions. Why you've been hearing about it so much lately, though, in the headlines, isn't because of the decentralized nature, isn't because of it not being linked to any governments or any of the possible inflationary items off of those governments. It's been because of all the different volatility that's resulted. So again, remember that it's not tied to a government, it's not tied to any one individual company, so there's a lot of speculation that's been out there in the cryptocurrency market. As an example, in April of 2021, Elon Musk tweeted out and sent Bitcoin down over 50%. So this brings us all the way back to the definition of a currency, as you probably know it. A medium of exchange for goods and services that's relatively stable. So while you definitely can criticize government monetary policy probably in many instances, and the technology that cryptocurrency is using to validate these transactions is just remarkable, you still probably can't go to Target tomorrow and use it to purchase any groceries, and it has been anything but stable. The jury is really still out on what cryptocurrency is going to turn into long term. There are a lot of opinions out there. Some people think it's going to completely reinvent the way we do business. Other people seem to think it's just a passing fad, but it's important to remember why it was created, kind of how it works, and really why you're hearing about it so much today with the volatility in the headlines. So the last thing I'll leave you with is just to remember why the coders, why its founders created it to begin with. They created it as an alternative to the traditional banking system, not as a way for people just to create huge wealth instantly. So I'm Joe Oakley from New Horizons Wealth Management. As always, if you have any questions, just let us know. Thanks very much.